Alright, this is going to be a little tutorial run through of the EasyGrader application. So if you come through here, you probably found this button because that's what we're doing right now. We're going to go ahead and do a quick little rundown of everything you could do inside the application. So for starters, when you open it for the first time, you're going to get to a page just like this. You can find any information, settings, documentation, you name it, it's all listed in here. We have our privacy policy, tooltips, and some of our frequently asked questions. And if you have any recommendations or bugs or changes you want, we can go ahead and email it right there, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So the current version is 3.7.2, and we're going to go ahead and show what's going on here. So the first thing, you can pick a username. It could be your student view credentials or any username you can think of. It's going to append values to that username, and it's going to save to your Google Chrome profile. So if you sign in on another computer somewhere else, you should still be able to pull up the same selections that you have here. So once you're opened up and looking at the student view web page, you should see a page with all the students and all their competency grades just like this. In order for this application to work, you need to be looking at this page. I can only grade and orient information that we can see on the screen. So you see right here we have something called HTML. So the background of everything going on your web page is posted inside here. And that's what we read in order to grade and graph and export all of your student information. So that means if you can't see it, like the drop down is closed or something is not showing correctly, we can't grade it. So you might not get the correct information. So the first thing you need to do is make sure every single drop down is open and every single grade that you want weighted inside the bucket is showing. Once you've gotten that far, you go ahead, you can pick a username, and then you're going to go ahead and select the number of competencies to buckets you would like. So we'll do 7 and 3 because that seems to be the standard across for most teachers. So once you've selected 7 and 3, you go ahead and click submit, and now we're going to get to this bucket competency table. So these competencies have names. They are listed in your tables as C1, C2 through C7, I believe. So go ahead and select the way that you want these to be oriented. So if you have 3 of them you want to be in bucket 1, you can do that, or 4 of them in bucket 2, you name it. We're just going to do it kind of random for now. But the idea is you need to select which competencies you want grouped together. It doesn't really matter which bucket they're in. If you wanted to do competency 1, 2, and 3 together, they could be together in bucket 3 just like this. That wouldn't affect anything, and then you could do the rest like so. We'll set it up like that for now, and we'll go ahead and click show competencies. So now you're going to get to a page where you see the competency to bucket mapping. So this is the selection we chose that we wanted our competencies and buckets to be. So beneath that, you're going to see every single student and their average in every single competency, every single bucket. We can expand their details. We can see everything we need to know about that student. We can see a graph of how they're doing in this course, and we can see a graph of their competencies. So if we come back to our main page, we can also view a graph of the entire class if we want. So this is going to be an average of everybody. Since it's 1, 2s, and 3s, it's usually going to be pretty streamlined. But if you can see something like this where the class average is 1.9, the class probably isn't doing that great. So we'll have to keep that in mind for that bucket. And then we can go ahead and go back to the student list. Export to CSV is pretty straightforward. That's going to allow you to get your entire class as an Excel document. Search, that's also pretty straightforward. You can search for any student if you want to just get there nice and quick. And as you can see, we already selected our buckets to competencies. So that means that those settings are saved to our Google profile now. So if we were to open the application again, we shouldn't have to select the buckets and competencies one more time. Right? So we popped right back up and there's no issues whatsoever. But if we decided, hey, I need the way I want my buckets of competencies to be different, you just go ahead and click the reset button and it's going to send you right back here. And again, you can come through and get all of our documentation as before. That's pretty much all there is to it. If you have any questions past that, go ahead and email me or comment on the Google Chrome store and I'll get back to you pretty quick. So thanks again and have fun using the EasyGrader.